In this video, excuse me, I'm going to show you how to run this light from this switch box, where this receptacle and this receptacle are hot all the time. The power is going to come from the panel box into this receptacle, then I'm going to run it into this switch box, and then over to this receptacle. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run our switch leg from our light to our switch box. Put the wire on the outside so I know that it is a switch leg. All right, then I'm going to run a wire from the panel box into the first receptacle box. Next, I'm going to run a wire from this receptacle to this switch. Feed it through. I'm going to put it on the inside. Or since it's a receptacle, I can put it, they're both going to be hot, so I'll put it in the other one. Power coming into my switch box. I got power. So I got power now coming into here, this receptacle, out, power into this box. Now I need to run power from this box to this box so that it will be hot all the time. I'm going to put the hot wire with the other hot wire and then drop it into my receptacle. Okay. All right. So if I wanted to staple, staples are within 6 inches of the box. Want them to the center of the stud so that if somebody drills through drywall or something, they will not hit my wire. These electrical staples will take 3 of these 12-2 wires. One more staple over here. All right, so let's start with this receptacle box. So it's a single wire. Strip the coatings off. I think my wire strippers cut into about 6 inches. Strip off about 3/4 of an inch. Put your loops using the hole on your strippers. Make sure they stay nice and tight. The ground wire. All right, so now that I have my 3 wires ready to accept my receptacle, I will attach the receptacle ground wire to the ground screw. Make sure you put it in the direction that the screw is going to be turned. The neutral wire is on the same side, so install it next. Make sure you put it in the direction the screw is turning. Hot wire goes on the gold side. Tightening it up. Make sure that they're good and snug so they don't get any open circuit, open ground, open neutral, open hot. And then all you have to do is stuff it in the box. Okay, let's go to this other receptacle. Save the best for last. All right, and here we're going to trim the wires, make sure you get all the paper off. Okay, this receptacle grounds first. Pull them tight with your linesman's pliers. Cut off the excess little piece of wire. Use a green wire nut. If the end of your wire gets a little bit bent, just snip it off so you can get your wire nut on. Put it down tight. About 6 inches out of the box. Strip off 3/4 of an inch. Put your hooks on the ends of your wires. You're going to include your ground wire. Receptacle, ground first. Direction that the screw is turning, the hook is. Neutral wires would go on next. Neutral, remember, is white to silver for neutral. Black to gold. Gold will be the hot. So at this point I've got hot coming in with the power in, and then it will be transferred through the plug to the power out, which goes to my switch box. Once I've got everything snugged up, I will fold the wires and shove them into the box. Make sure using a drill or a screwdriver to put the screws in. All right, the switch box. Strip the wires. Again, make sure you do not cut into the white wire covering or the black covering because you'll get a short. So be careful when you cut. Don't cut your fingers. Rip the paper off. Going to first do the ground wires. All the ground wires will be hooked together. I like to keep the longest one, so I take the long one, wrap it around the other two. Take the linesman's pliers, twist them tight, snip off the excess 2 wires, put on the green wire, neutral wires. All I have to do is strip 3/4 of an inch off and wire nut them together so that I have neutral going to this box, and up to this box. So all the neutrals are stuck together. And shove it into the box. Shove the ground wire in out of the way. That leaves 3 wires. Okay, this one it's this wire right here, so it's hot. No, that's my switch leg. Excuse me, that's my switch leg. This one and this one are hot. These 2 inside ones are hot. So I have to pigtail these 2 hot wires together because I need a hot wire for my switch. So I'll take a short piece of wire, make a pigtail out of the short piece of wire. Make sure they're all nice and tight. So now I've got my switch leg and my hot wire, which will go on my switch. Strip off 3/4 of an inch, twist a loop onto the ends. Install your single pole switch. Ground first. Loop in the direction you're turning. One's a switch leg, one's hot. On a single pole switch, it does not matter. And your single pole switch is hooked up. All you have to do then is pull the wires into the box. Make sure when you push it down, you can read off. Okay, so I've got power coming into this box, being transferred over to this box. So I got a power in, power out. I got a power in coming. The one behind it is the power out going to this box, which makes this receptacle hot all the time. I pigtailed these 2 hot wires together and attached it to one of my screws on my switch. The other one is the switch leg coming from this light. So I have a switch leg and a hot, again on a single pole switch. It doesn't matter which one goes where. Then I have to have my neutral hooked up, stuff everything into the box, screw it in. Okay, so in a previous video I showed another example where the switch and then this receptacle, power coming into the switch, or power coming to the receptacle. You just have to make sure when you wire these that if this needs to be hot and this needs to be hot, that they get attached together inside this box. The switch leg can't be hooked to anything but the switch, but the powers will all get hooked together. So no matter what sequence you put these in, wherever the hot comes in, you got to make sure if you have more than a power in and power out, that they get hooked together inside the box, and then a pigtail if you need it on the switch or the plug. Okay? So that's another way of doing a single pole switch with 2 hot receptacles.